Want to speak English effortlessly? Subscribe for essential tips and real-life practices to help you achieve fluency. Let's dive in. I want to share another story with you, one that changed my perspective on life. It's about how starting small can lead to big things, even when it feels like what you're doing doesn't matter much in the moment. A few years ago, I decided I wanted to get healthier. I was tired of feeling sluggish and out of shape, but I didn't know where to begin. The idea of hitting the gym every day or going on a strict diet felt overwhelming. I thought, asterisk, I'm not the type of person who can commit to a big change like that. It's too much. Asterisk. Then one day, I had an epiphany. What if I didn't try to do everything at once? What if I just made one small change? I started with a simple habit. I decided I would walk for 15 minutes every morning before work. That's it. No complicated routines. No intense workouts. Just 15 minutes of walking. First, felt silly. I thought, asterisk, this isn't enough to make a difference. Asterisk, but you know what? After a week, I felt better. My energy levels were up. I wasn't as tired during the day, and I even slept a little better. So, I kept going. Over time, I added a little more. Maybe 20 minutes of walking, or sometimes I'd add a stretch or two. Slowly, I started feeling stronger, more confident in my body, and more motivated. Eventually, that 15-minute walk turned into a full 30-minute workout routine. Here's the big realization I had. Small steps lead to big changes. I didn't need to rush. I didn't need to do everything perfectly. I just needed to start, even if it was small. And in the end, that small decision to walk every morning became the foundation for a healthy lifestyle. Now, I want to tell you that this story isn't just about exercise or getting healthy. It's about starting small in any area of your life. Could be building a new habit, learning a new skill, or working toward a big goal. Start with one small thing. It doesn't matter if it feels insignificant at first. In the beginning, you might not see huge results. You might even question whether it's worth the effort. But here's the secret. Consistency, even in the smallest actions, adds up over time. One small step leads to the next. And eventually, you look back and realize you've come a long way. I remember another time when I wanted to improve my writing. I had always dreamed of writing a book, but the thought of sitting down and finishing a whole book seemed impossible. So, I decided to write just 1 page a day. Some days felt like a chore, and I didn't think it was doing much. But after a few weeks, I had dozens of pages written. By the end of the year, I had enough to start putting the pieces together. That impossible book? It was finally becoming a reality. Here's what I learned from that experience. Perfection is not the goal. Progress is. Whether it's fitness, a creative project, or any kind of personal growth, the key is to begin with small actions that you can commit to. Don't worry about how perfect those actions are. Don't worry if it seems like you're moving slowly. What matters is that you show up day after day. If I'd waited until I felt ready or until I had the perfect plan, I wouldn't have made any progress at all. The real change happened because I chose to start, even when it seemed small. And that's what I want you to take away from this story. Start small. Start messy. Start now. You don't need to have all the answers or know exactly how things will turn out. You just need to take that first step. And when you do, you'll be amazed at how far you can go. Small actions, repeated over time, create big results. So, if you're thinking about something you want to do, whether it's getting in shape, learning a new skill, or starting a new project, don't wait for the perfect moment, There is no such thing. Instead, take a small step today. Do something, anything, that gets you moving in the right direction. You don't have to do it all at once. Just start. And trust me, that small start will take you farther than you can imagine. You know, as I continued down that path of starting small and making gradual changes, I began to notice something else: the power of consistency. It wasn't just the small actions I was taking. It was the fact that I was doing them regularly, even when I didn't feel like it. It wasn't always exciting, and it wasn't always easy, but I stuck with it. There was a time when I was trying to build better habits, not just in fitness, but in many parts of my life. I wanted to read more books, eat healthier, be more organized. And honestly, in the beginning, it was overwhelming. Every time I looked at my to-do list, I felt like there was too much to do and not enough time to do it all. But then I remembered the lesson I'd learned from my daily walks. You don't have to do everything at once. You don't need to change your entire life overnight. Instead of trying to overhaul everything in one go, I focused on doing just one small thing each day. One chapter of a book. One healthy meal. One task on my to-do list. Here's what happened. Over time, those small wins added up. A chapter a day led to me reading more than I thought possible. A few healthy meals each week turned into consistent habits that made me feel better. And the small, manageable tasks I completed every day made me feel productive and in control, even when things seemed chaotic. But here's where it gets interesting. I also started to realize that the process itself became rewarding. It wasn't just about checking things off the list or reaching some big goal. It was about the feeling of growth and progress that I started to experience with each small step I took. And that feeling kept me going. There were days when I didn't feel motivated, or when I felt like skipping my routine. But I reminded myself of something I had learned from my previous journey. The small things matter, and they are building up something bigger. It's easy to want instant results. But the truth is, real change takes time. Real growth is built on a foundation of consistent effort, even when no one is watching. A good example of this was with my writing. I mentioned before how I set a goal to write just one page a day. Some days, I was excited and wrote a lot more than a page. Other days, I felt stuck and barely got through a few lines. But I kept showing up, day after day, even when I didn't feel like it. And eventually, those pages turned into chapters. Those chapters into a book. The thought of writing a whole book no longer seemed impossible because I had made the idea of writing one page at a time a consistent part of my routine. I think this is where many of us go wrong. We look at someone who's achieved something big, and we think, asterisk, they're so lucky. They've got it all together. I'll never be able to do that. Asterisk, but what we don't see is the grit and consistency behind their success. No one achieves anything great by doing everything perfectly from the start. Everyone who achieves big things has built their success on small, steady actions over time. The key is showing up. Even when it's hard. Even when it feels like it's not enough. Even when you feel like you're getting nowhere. One thing I realized is that we are all capable of more than we think asterisk asterisk, but it requires a willingness to put in the work. Even if that work feels small in the moment. It's the consistency that compounds, that turns those small efforts into something extraordinary over time. If you're thinking about a goal, whether it's learning a new skill, starting a business, or improving your health, asterisk asterisk, don't wait for the perfect moment to start. Don't wait for things to be just right. Start now. Even if it's just one small thing. One step today can change everything in the long run. And you know what? You don't have to be perfect. The important thing is showing up. Some days you'll do more. Some days less. And that's okay. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is progress. If you keep taking those small steps, day after day, you will get there. As I look back at all I've accomplished, I see that it wasn't about some magical moment of inspiration or a sudden burst of energy. It was about the quiet, consistent effort that added up over time. So my message to you today is simple. Start small. Be consistent. Trust the process. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step and keep going. And remember, you're already further along than you think. You've got this. The best part? You don't have to do it all at once. Keep showing up. Keep growing. And in time, you'll look back and see how far you've come. As I continued down this path of small, consistent steps, I began to realize something even more important. The power of mindset. When I first started making changes in my life, I was focused mostly on the physical results, losing weight, finishing that book, being more organized. But soon, I noticed that it wasn't just my habits that were shifting. It was my mindset, too. You see, in the beginning, I was focused on how much progress I wasn't making. I would look at my small daily efforts and think, asterisk, this isn't enough. I'm not doing enough. I'm still far from where I want to be. Asterisk, and that's a common trap we all fall into. We want the end result so badly that we forget to appreciate the journey asterisk asterisk, the small steps that get us there. But over time, I learned to change that thinking. Instead of focusing on how far I still had to go, I started celebrating where I was right now. Every time I wrote a page, even if it was just a few words, I told myself, asterisk, this counts. This is progress. Asterisk, every time I went for that 15-minute walk, I reminded myself, asterisk, I'm moving forward, even if it's just a little bit. Asterisk, that shift in mindset was game-changing. I realized that the effort I was putting in was valuable, regardless of the immediate outcome. It wasn't just about reaching some distant goal, it was about the person I was becoming through the process. And that was something worth celebrating. That's where mindset really comes into play. It's not about pushing yourself to exhaustion or burning out trying to achieve a goal. It's about embracing the journey, recognizing that every small step is shaping you into the person you need to be. The process itself is where the growth happens, not just at the finish line. Let me tell you about a time when my mindset shifted in a way that changed everything. There was a point in my journey when I hit a wall. I had been consistently working toward my goals, but progress was slower than I expected, and I started feeling discouraged. I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere, and it seemed like the end goal was further away than ever. But then I asked myself a simple question. What if the struggle is part of the process? What if this is where I'm meant to grow? And with that thought, I realized that the hard moments were actually the ones that were shaping me the most. Struggles don't mean you're failing, they mean you're growing. Instead of giving up or feeling frustrated, I decided to lean into the challenge. I began to see every obstacle not as a setback, but as an opportunity to learn something new about myself. I told myself, it's okay if it's not perfect. It's okay if it's hard. The important thing is I'm not giving up. That was a turning point for me. Once I embraced the difficulty instead of fearing it, everything started to feel more manageable. I stopped seeing challenges as roadblocks and started seeing them as stepping stones. And then came a moment I'll never forget. After months of consistent work, I had my first real breakthrough. It wasn't a big dramatic moment. It wasn't an instant success. But it was a small win that told me all the effort I had been putting in had been worth it. That first chapter of my book was done. That first goal of reading a book a month was complete. It wasn't perfect, but it was mine, and I had done it, one small step at a time. The breakthrough didn't come because I was more talented or more capable than anyone else. It came because I kept showing up, even when I didn't feel like it. And that's what I want you to remember. Success isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up, staying consistent, and learning along the way. Here's the most important part of all of this. You're not just working toward a goal, you're building a better version of yourself every day. The effort you put in today isn't just shaping your future, it's shaping who you are right now. Each small step makes you stronger, more resilient, and more capable of handling whatever life throws your way. So, if you're feeling overwhelmed by a big goal or unsure if the small steps you're taking matter, remember this: they do matter. Every small action, every time you show up, is making a difference. The journey is just as important as the destination. And don't forget to celebrate those small wins along the way. Each one is a victory in its own right. Progress is progress, no matter how small it seems in the moment. You are stronger than you realize. Your small actions today are the foundation of your success tomorrow. So, keep going. Keep showing up. Keep moving forward. One small step at a time. Because in the end, it's not about how fast you get there. It's about how much you grow along the way. And trust me, you've already come so much further than you think. Moral of the story: success is built on small, consistent actions over time, not on big, dramatic leaps. It's easy to get discouraged when progress feels slow. But remember that every small step matters, and each one adds up. Embrace the journey, celebrate the small wins, and trust that every effort you make is shaping you into the person you need to be. Growth isn't about perfection. It's about showing up, learning, and keeping moving forward, even when things feel tough. So, don't wait for the perfect moment to start or for everything to be in place. Start small, be consistent, and trust that the process will lead you to your bigger goals. The real transformation happens in the daily, steady effort you put in, not just at the end. Keep going. You've got this. Let's enrich our vocabulary with some new words. Consistency, the act of doing something regularly and steadily, without interruption. It's about sticking with a habit or routine over time, even when it feels difficult. Example: her consistency in practicing every day led to her becoming an expert. Mindset, a person's attitude or way of thinking about something, especially regarding challenges or success. Example: a growth mindset helps you see challenges as opportunities to learn. Embrace, to accept or take on something willingly, even if it's difficult or unfamiliar. Example: she embraced the challenge of starting her own business. Journey, the process or path taken to achieve something, often with both challenges and progress along the way. Example: the journey of learning something new can be difficult, but it's rewarding. Struggle, a difficult or challenging situation that requires effort to overcome. Example: overcoming self-doubt was a personal struggle she faced every day. Setback, a delay or obstacle that causes progress to slow or stop temporarily. Example: after a major setback, he was determined to get back on track. Growth, the process of becoming better, stronger, or more developed, either personally or professionally. Example: facing challenges head-on led to his personal growth. Celebrate, to acknowledge or enjoy the achievement of something, big or small. Example: it's important to celebrate your small wins, not just the big ones. Perfection, the state of being flawless or without any mistakes, often an unrealistic goal. Example: don't aim for perfection. Progress is what really matters. Resilience, the ability to recover quickly from difficulties or bounce back from challenges. Example: her resilience in tough times helped her succeed when others gave up. Progress, forward movement toward a goal. Improvement over time. Example: even if it's small, every bit of progress brings you closer to your goal. Obstacle, something that blocks or hinders progress or achievement. Example: she saw every obstacle as a chance to learn and grow. Steady, unwavering or consistent in effort, movement, or progress. Example: with steady effort, he built his business from the ground up. I'm so glad you spent this time with me. If you liked the story, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Take care, and see you next time.